Welcome to this LiveSimTours.com tour of Denali. We are in the Microsoft Flight Simulator, and our plane is a Cessna Grand Caravan EX. We take off from the Talkeetna Airport. We will view the tour from the airplane cockpit, as now, and also from a drone outside the plane, like now. I am George Kessinger, and I will be your pilot and tour guide. We will head west toward Denali, which is just 59 miles in the distance. And first we will learn about the Denali 730 rule. It is that 70% of the tourists who come to visit never see Denali due to the clouds. So we've gone through those clouds and we asked the question, is Denali the tallest mountain? At 20,310 feet, it's 18,300 feet base to summit. Everest, being on a plane about 15,000 feet above sea level, its peak at 29,000 is about 14,000 feet to summit, base to summit. And although Everest is the highest peak above sea level, Chimborazo down in Ecuador is closest to space because it is sitting on the hump near the equator. And also, of course, there's Mauna Kea in Alaska that from base to summit is 33,500 feet. So you have your choice of which is the highest mountain. As we break through the clouds, we see we're safe and we can see the mountain. There are at least 40 named and hundreds of unnamed glaciers in Denali National Park and Preserve. Arriving at Denali, we come to Ruth Glacier, which drops approximately 3 vertical miles below the summit. One feature of Ruth Glacier is that the Great Gorge that Ruth Glacier has scraped out of is the world's deepest gorge. It may be helpful to consider the difference between a gorge and a canyon. A canyon is wider than it is deep, while a gorge is deeper than it is wide. For example, the Grand Canyon of Colorado drops about a mile from the rim to the canyon bottom, but it measures 4 to 13 miles across. The Great Gorge of Ruth Glacier drops about 9,000 feet, but only measures about 5,000 feet from the cliffs of one side to the other. We cannot see the Great Gorge of Ruth Glacier because it is full of ice, but its dimensions have been determined with modern technology. And here's a picture of Ruth Glacier. We have changed seasons on the sim to view the glacier in summer. When the surface of the glacier begins to melt, the warmer water penetrates down through the ice to the bottom, where it becomes trapped beneath the immense weight of the ice. As the glacier moves down the valley, it picks up new layers of ice and scrapes up rock and dirt as it grows from the bottom up. Ultimately, those dirty layers will be exposed as the ice melts. The mountain is huge. Even going 120 miles an hour, we must skip ahead. The Koyukon people who lived around the peak have called it Denali for centuries. Then in 1896, a gold prospector named it Mount McKinley in support of then presidential candidate William McKinley, who became president the following year. Mount McKinley was the official name recognized by the federal government from 1917 to 2015. In 1980, the park's name was changed to Denali, and in 2015, 40 years after Alaska had done so, the United States Department of Interior changed the name of the mountain to Denali. Folks in McKinley's home state of Ohio were not pleased. The primary driving force in the creation of Mount McKinley National Park was the protection of Dall's sheep. When Charles Sheldon roamed the foothills of the Alaskan range approximately 100 years ago, he became concerned that the population of Alaska's white sheep, wondering if it would be overexploited for food by explorers and gold seekers. He successfully lobbied Congress for a game refuge. So in 1917, Congress created a park. Dall sheep are found only in central and northern Alaska, the Yukon Territory, and northern British Columbia. They are not endangered. You can still hunt them. We see on our altimeter we are now above 20,310 feet. By the way, Mount Foraker, off here to the right, has an elevation of over 17,000 feet, making it the third highest mountain in the United States. The second highest mountain, Mount St. Elias, which straddles the Alaska-Canada border at over 18,000 feet, is the second highest in both U.S. and Canada, and is near the U.S. at the extreme southwest corner of Yukon Territory. By the way, Mount Logan is the highest mountain in Canada and the second highest peak in North America, after Denali. The airport is too far away, so we're going to try to land on Kahiltna Glacier here in front of us to end our tour. Kahiltna Glacier is the longest glacier in the Alaskan range. So we're going to try to land. The glacier drops away so fast that we will turn up a valley to find a flat place to sit down. And we do find a place. We're going to try to get up on top of this little rise here. And when we do, we find that ice is slick. We cut the engine and we begin to slide backwards. Well, we keep sliding backwards, and then finally we're going to come to a stop, we hope, and not slide all the way down to the bottom of the mountain. And when we do stop, if we stop, we will end our tour here and have an opportunity to say thank you for taking this tour of Denali.